and good evening to your Wednesday night time stretch class. Today we will be using a hard-backed chair, as you can see behind me, a yoga mat, or a towel or blanket that you can lay on the floor. And if you're like me and have carpet, you're probably fine just laying on your carpet. And we will also be using a tea towel. Let's get started on our chairs, sitting down. All right, so let's start sitting up nice and tall. And let's do some circles starting with the head. And we'll do about 3 to 5 circles in each direction. And this is your moment to just start feeling what's going on in the neck, how the muscles surrounding this area is feeling, and go in the opposite direction. If there's any crickle, like crunching or cracking, if there's anything stretchy, if there's anything sore, using these rotations to start mobilizing our joints. And now let's get a little bit into the upper body, circling here. So now we're getting a little bit more in between the shoulders and the ribs. And 3 to 5 circles here as well. And when you're ready, go in the opposite direction. Feeling how the ribs are expanding and contracting. What does it feel like when you go to the side of the body? Are there any snap, crackles, pops happening? Is there anything nice and stretchy happening? Good. Sitting up nice and tall. Now let's roll those shoulders back a couple of times. Feeling that chest expand nice and open. And then bringing the 2 hands in front of you, dragging one elbow back, maybe even holding onto the back of the chair, holding onto the knee, finding a twist, looking behind you, switching sides, finding a twist in the opposite direction. And just switching that a couple of times, not pushing anything, not forcing anything, just finding a little bit of movement in that spine. Let's bring one foot out to the side. My heel is on the ground. And then sliding one hand down the leg, let's bring the other arm up and over into a nice big side stretch. Coming up and out of that, switching sides. One more time, each side. Oh, pardon me. This class always makes me yawn so much. Come on out of that. Good. Let's warm up those hands really quickly. And bring it to the back of the neck. So finding a little massage wherever you need. Maybe kind of dragging those trapezius muscles, the muscles that are at the top of the shoulders, forward a little. Good. Let's do that a couple more times. Awesome. Bringing one hand behind you, matching the palms together, and bringing the ear down to the shoulder. Feeling the neck start to open up. Bring the chin down to the chest. Pick the head back up, switch sides. Ear to the shoulder. And bring that chin down to the chest. Lift that head back up and switch sides. Ear to the shoulder. And then let that nose go down a little bit. Getting into some other fibers of the neck. Rolling that head forward, chin to chest. Coming back up, other side. Lowering that nose a little down. And then roll that head forward, chin to chest. Pick it back up. Switching sides one more time each side, head goes over. Then we bring that nose a little up towards the ceiling. Try in this position to relax the jaw. And then roll that head forward, chin to chest. Pick the head back up, switching sides. Head goes over, nose goes up towards the ceiling. And when you're ready, roll the head forward, pick it back up. Good. Working out that neck today. Let's bring one foot up and over. And before we go into our massage, let's start rolling out the ankle. We'll do about 10 circles in one direction and about 10 circles in the opposite direction. Trying to inscribe the biggest circle possible with those toes. And now give the foot a little rub, warm it up. Heating up the toes, heating up the arches of the foot. And then when you're ready, bring those thumbs and start giving yourself that nice massage. And just seeing where your feet feel tight today or if it's feeling good. Maybe this is feeling really lovely and relaxing. That's also a good sign. And then let's bring the fingers in between each toe, creating a nice wide duck foot. And then from here, you can either hold these bones like so, feeling everything expand nice and wide, or find a little wiggle, a little circle in one direction or the other. And then giving each toe a little traction out. Good. Let's switch sides. 10 circles in each direction. Taking note what's snappy, crackly, poppy. This side on me is a little bit more noisy. And in the other direction. Inscribing big circles with those toes. And then warm up those hands. And bring it to the feet. Into the toes. And then find that nice massage into the bottoms of the feet, the arches. Seeing if there's any sort of places that feel a little stuck or sticky, or maybe just like tapping into the foot massage that feels really nice and relaxing. Especially if you've done um, a lot of walking in the last week or so. I know I say this every single week while we're doing our footwork, but this is also really good if you do a lot of standing or a lot of walking. And then bringing each finger in between the toes, creating that nice wide duck foot sort of sensation. And of course, staying here or finding a little bit of mobility in those joints. And while you're here, feeling the joints really open up, where this is what this allows us to do. And especially if you've been back to the gym rock climbing at all and your feet are crammed in your shoes again, this should feel really good. And then pull each toe out individually, just a little bit of traction for each joint. Good. Let that foot come down. Maybe do a couple little marches, feeling all those toe articulations. So I'm pointing my toe, bringing it down, pointing it, and just kind of doing these little seated prances, working through the feet. Good. Let's do our first glute stretches. So sitting up nice and tall, I like to hold on to the shin as a little leverage and come on forward. I forgot to wear my watch tonight, so all times will be approximate today. But let's stay here for maybe like 5 to 7 deep, big breaths. And so this is your moment as well to start tuning into your breath. I don't know what kind of day you've had, but this is the moment to start turning that focus in to yourself, into the functioning of the body, onto the breath. And lower that foot. And let's go to the other side, sitting up nice and tall, using that shin as a little leverage and hinging forward. And again, about 5 to 7 big and deep breaths here. Feeling the back of the hip open up. Start taking note of where you have excess tension hanging out. So if you've been with me often, you know that I like to carry it in my shoulders, in my jaw, and sometimes I find myself clenching my stomach muscles when they don't need to be hyper clenched. So I will be checking in with my jaw. I'll be checking in with my shoulders. I'll be checking in with my core or my abdominals. I encourage you to do the same because those tend to be pretty uh, fashionable points, very popular points to hold extra tension. Come on out of that. Let's take a stand up. Come to the back of the chair for our calf stretching. So in here, I'm using my chair for support because this is our bedtime stretches. We're not here to do extra or extraneous work. We are here to find ease in the movement, ease in the muscles, relaxation. But even while I am here in this calf stretch, I'm feeling a nice long line in between my back heel and the top of my head. I'm feeling my jaw relaxed. Oh. And I'm feeling, of course, my calf slowly creak itself open. My calves are really tight today, so this one feels extra, extra good. I'm going to see if I can relax the bottom of my foot into the ground. So I just noticed that the bottom of my foot was tensing. Can I release the muscles in the bottom of the foot and get deeper into the calf? Let's switch sides. So once you have that stretch set up, start tapping into the long line that exists between your back heel and the top of the head. Check in with your shoulders. Check in with your jaw. Maybe even try softening the focus, whatever that means to you. Maybe it's looking at a point on the ground. And of course, start taking notice of how that calf is slowly opening itself up, relaxing the bottom of the foot into the ground. And come on out of that. Holding on to the chair, I'm going to grab onto, you can see right here, the kind of my ankle joint area. And then keeping my knees keeping my knees aligned, so I'm not going to let this leg fly out to the side. I want to think of pressing that knee down to the ground and open up that hip and thigh, holding onto my chair for a little stability. Our first little thigh opener of the day. And even while I'm here, I want to keep my focus down and on the ground, maybe like 6 to 8 feet in front of me. I want to feel my jaw relaxed. I want to feel my thigh slowly creaking itself open. I'm going to breathe deeply here. Even though my thighs are tight, I can still find an opportunity to breathe deeply. Let that go. Give it a shake out. Maybe even just take a moment to stand and notice how kind of lopsided the body feels now that we have found length in one leg and the other leg is waiting to catch up. So turning around or bringing the chair to the other side of your body, grabbing that ankle joint on the other side and feeling that thigh start expanding long. Think of that knee going down to the ground and the hip opening up. And I know that you can't see it, I'll pivot, but my foot in the back is uh, it is flexed. I like to do it flexed. I feel like I have a better understanding of my relationship to my knees while my foot is flexed. Because sometimes if the thigh is really tight in a funny or like slightly imbalanced way, you can feel it in the knees a little bit. And again, I have a soft focus on the ground in front of me. I'm going to remind myself to breathe deeply and that my jaw is relaxed and let that leg go. Take a moment to feel that one on the ground now and just both legs nice and long. Let's grab our tea towels and put our chairs to the side. All right, coming down to the mat. So our first little stretchy for the day, let's grab that tea towel and fold it lengthwise so we have a makeshift yoga strap. Sitting up nice and tall, let's wrap that tea towel around 2 feet and bend those elbows to bring that chest closer to the legs. This one is nice while the feet are flexed. You get a little bit extra stretch into those calves. Maybe even closing the eyes here, letting that chest sink towards the legs. Take a moment to check in with the jaw, to check in with the shoulders, check in with the ribs and abdominals. What about the hip joints? Connecting to our breath and seeing if that will let our torso gently fall closer and closer to our legs. And then roll up the spine, remove the tea towel. Maybe give those legs a little shake. Good. Let's cross the knees. Come on up or come up to the knees, whatever way you can or feel comfortable doing. Let's bring one leg up, finding a nice tuck in the tail and coming a little forward. So we're going to find, so we've already done a little bit for the front of the thigh, but now we're going to get more into the front of the hip. To get into the psoas, you can bring that arm up and over. And of course, if you don't feel a stretch, tuck even further, come a little forward. And we'll be here for about 5 to 7 breaths. And then circle that arm so we have 2 hands on the mat. Wiggle those toes forward, flex that foot up, and again, getting into that hamstring, slowly lowering that chest down to the leg. Seeing if we can get our nose on our shin. Maybe closing the eyes here. And seeing with every exhale, can we go a little bit deeper? It might not even be visible to the outside eye. And then when you're ready, You can bend that front leg, tuck that back toe, and step on up. So the front toes are facing forward. My back toes are facing the side. So it's like a little teeny tiny, like the miniest kind of triangle pose foot position. My two hands are framing my front foot. And I'm going to lower my torso down to the leg, getting a little bit deeper into that hamstring. You can even play with bending that back knee if that feels good, if you need a little bit more of a stretch. And then bend two knees, bring 2 feet together, roll up the spine. Inhale, bring those arms all the way up so they're in a prayer position above your head. Exhale, dive forward. Bring the other foot back so we are kneeling. Find a tuck in that tail. Bring those hips just a little bit forward, finding a stretch in the front of the hip. To get into that psoas, bring that arm up and over. And we'll be here again for, I think I've been saying 5 to 7 breaths, but I think we've been doing more like 8 to 10. Especially in one like this that feels so good, especially, I don't know, I find just all the sitting that we do, this one is so good to kind of open up the front of that hip and undo all of that sitting or bike riding that you've been doing. I say bike riding because I took a bike ride today. And then when you're ready, circle that top hand forward, framing that front foot, wiggle those toes forward. Give that foot a flex. And bend those elbows, bringing that nose towards the shin. Closing the eyes here, checking in with those points of tension. Noticing what parts of the body you can release. The jaw, the shoulders. Maybe take a big kind of like exhale or sigh if that feels good. And then give that front knee a little bend. Tuck those back toes. Come on up. Front toes are facing forward. The back foot is rotated so the toes are facing side. And then bowing over that front leg, getting deeper into that hamstring calf area. And then if you need more of a stretch, you can always bend that back knee, getting a little bit deeper. And then bend two legs, step them together in parallel. On the exhale, bend the knees, roll it all the way up. Inhale, arms come up and overhead. Exhale, dive it forward. And then let's sit on down. Bringing the legs nice and wide, reaching those hands forward. Elbows on the ground, chin on the ground if you're feeling extra flexible today. And we'll be here for about probably 7 to 10 breaths. Slowly letting those inner thighs open up. Breathing deeply, falling, letting gravity take over and let you gently fall into this stretch. Checking in with the jaw, the shoulders, the hips, the feet. And on our next exhale, let's see if we can get just a tiny bit deeper. I know that this can feel really intense, but I promise you it will feel really good once we are done. And then slowly bring those hands up, bring those legs in, give them a shake out. See, it always feels good when you finish it. It's just when you're in the middle of the stretch is when it's real painful. All right, let's come on to the back. Let's do some spiraling work today. So the feet are on the mat. My arms are out to my side. So I look like a big kind of human shaped T. And I want to take an inhale in and let my legs or my knees just drop to the side. And then on the exhale, I'm going to bring them up. Inhale, let them drop to the side. Exhale, let them come up. Inhale to drop. Exhale it up. Inhale to drop. Exhale it up. Inhale to drop. Exhale it up. One more time each side. Inhale to drop. Exhale it up. Inhale to drop, and then our back arm is going to draw a big rainbow arc up and over our head, and then our palms are going to match. And then we're going to retrace that arc until we open up again. And we'll do that. This is twice, and we'll do it one more time. And this is 3 times. Coming up and over, knees come up, let them drop to the other side, and arc that arm over. And open it up. Arcing that arm over. Open it back up one more time. Arc that arm over. Open it back up. Knees come up to the side. Extend one leg. Bring one knee up to the chest. Drop it over. Match 2 palms. 3 circles with the arm. Seeing if you can follow the hand with your gaze. We'll do 3 circles in this direction and then 3 circles in the opposite direction. Taking a pause in the areas that feel good and 3 circles in the other direction. I like to pause kind of when my arm is on that high diagonal. I feel like I get a really good stretch through my pec and chest area. But maybe you have a different spot that you like to sit in for just an extra second to indulge in that stretch. And then come back up to that neutral. Switching sides, knee up to the chest. Bring it over. Match those palms together. 3 circles in each direction. And 3 circles in the opposite direction. Good. Coming back to that neutral, bring those knees into the chest for a moment. Rock that side to side. Feeling that back open up. Good. Coming up to sitting either on your chair, on your knees, or cross-legged. We're going to grab our little towels, and again, keeping them in that kind of makeshift yoga strap position. We're going to hold it in one hand and bring it down our back. Our other hand is going to grab the towel, and we're going to inch those hands together as close as they can come. And we'll be here for a second to kind of open up those shoulders. So the trick to this one is not to let it collapse forward, but to think about keeping that chest strong and wide and proud. Breathing deeply here. This can sometimes be a little intense on the shoulders. And let that go. Give it a shake out, switch sides. Other arm goes up, grabbing the towel with the other hand, and then kind of wiggle those fingers so they're closer together. On this side, breathing deeply here, feeling those shoulders open up, sensing that rotation, feeling the chest nice and wide, not collapsed in. And gently let that go. Whew, give those shoulders a little roll out, a little shake. Put that towel to the side. We will use that in a moment when we get ready for what time is it? Okay, we're still good. Let's get those knees a little wider. Let's bring those hands down so we're in a child's pose. Walk the hand to about 45 degrees, grabbing onto the wrist and feeling the back side rib area open up. And we'll be here for about 5 to 7 breaths, checking in with your jaw, seeing if you can allow that lower back to start opening up. Tapping into that breath. And then bring the hands through the center. And let's go to the other side. And again, about 5 to 7 breaths here. Feeling the belly and chest expand on the thighs when you inhale, and then feeling them kind of give in and surrender into the thighs as you exhale. Feeling that lower back open up. Feeling the side of the ribs and the armpit area open up. Bringing those hands back to the center and coming a little deeper, seeing if that back has released a little bit more. Come on out of that. Let's come to our little last relaxation. Let's bring that chair to the end of our mat. Let's fold our little tea towels and let's roll it up into our little miniature pillows for the back of our head. Place that to the side. We'll use that in just a moment. Placing the calves on the chair, roll on back. Placing the hands on the tops of the thighs, take an inhale in. And on the exhale, press those thighs away and feeling that spine nice and long, feeling like there's space in between each vertebra. Grabbing the back of the head, and on the exhale, giving the head a little tractioning, a little space between all of those vertebra. Grabbing that mini pillow you just made, place it under your head. Good. Having those arms by your side, palms facing the ceiling. Close those eyes. Take a big inhale in. And on the exhale, let it out through the mouth. 2 more times just like that. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Feeling the points of the body that are being supported by the floor or your chair. Feeling the jaw, the hips, the ankles, the shoulders release. Feeling the hands, the feet, the face, and the abdominal muscles release. And stay here with your eyes closed, relaxing and giving in to gravity for as long as you need. Thank you very much, and have a lovely night.